So how's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video. So guys, in this video I want to show you guys an in-depth supply and demand trading strategy breakdown. So first and first, you want to come to the indicator section here, and you search for an indicator called supply demand zone. You can see it when you come to this point, you click on it, you search supply demand zone with the all cap, and you can also use this indicator called order block finder. It's called order block finder. It helps you find order block in the market. All right, so once you add that to your chart, it has 12,801 favorites or downloads or whatever. So once it's added to your chart, it will look like this. This indicator is very helpful because it helps you find, like, this order block finder. You can see it's pointing out this one as a bearish order block. Why? Because there's a move to the downside, and the last bullish candlestick before that supply, it's called a bearish order block, and the last bearish candlestick before the move to the upside is called bullish order block. So guys, this is going to be a very long video. I think around I'm going to be detailing, like, in-depth breakdown of my supply and demand strategy. So pick up your pen and paper and let's get started. And I want to say a big shout out to all of you guys that subscribe. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. I want to say a big shout out, a big thank you to all of you guys that subscribed, and it means a lot to me, honestly. All right, so let's get started. So let me use a blank canvas. I want to explain how the strategy works. So number one is you want to wait for a situation where price is, let me change this color. So you want to wait for a situation where price is in a strong momentum to the up or to the downside. So for this example, I'll be using a bullish example, a demand example for now. Then I will show you guys a selling example. So let's just assume that price is going up strong like this. When you see a movement to the upside like this, definitely there's gonna be a bearish candlestick somewhere around here. That is the last bearish candlestick before the move to the upside. All right, so as you can see, this is a strong momentum to the upside. So this is indicating a good demand zone, and I use this indicator called supply demand zone. I changed the color of my demand zone to blue, so when I see a blue candlestick instead of a green, I can detect that, okay, this is surely a very good demand zone. All right, you can see that there's 3 blue candlestick here, and these 2 ends the same color with this one, so it still indicates like this is a good demand zone for me. So when I see this blue candlestick, I just know, like, this is definitely a demand zone. And when I see this golden or yellow candlestick, I know that this is definitely a supply zone. So back to the example, right? So once we see this move to the upside and I turn on this indicator called supply demand zone, then obviously these candlesticks are going to be blue. So let me just use the indicator preference, because I want you guys to get the hang of this strategy and the indicators I use. Guys, I don't use these indicators to, like, pinpoint my entries and everything. I use these indicators to make work and make life easy for me. All right, so when I see these blue candlesticks like this on my chart, I know for sure that this is a very valid indicator. This is a very valid setup. So I am most likely looking to take a trade when I see this blue candlestick. And you might be asking, okay, there's some with, you can see this is a 3 candlestick move to the upside, but it's not colored as blue, and that's because the indicator doesn't find this let me zoom in a little bit. The indicator doesn't find this move to be a valid. Alright, so the indicator doesn't find this to be a valid demand zone, so I wouldn't take this trade even if I see it. So let's go back to the example. So we said this strong move to the upside. What do you want? Like, what comes to your mind? Like, you're like, all right, so we'll be taking our trade off of this so once we see this demand zone, what else comes to mind? I am definitely looking to take a trade here. So I mark out this the last bearish candlestick before the move to the upside, which is called a bullish order block. All right, it's called a bullish order block. So I mark out this zone, I mark this zone out, and now what am I waiting for? I am obviously going to be waiting for price to retrace. All right, waiting for price to retrace back into this this order block zone, this zone we marked out. So once price retrace there, we'll not just blindly take a trade because price retraced back to that zone. All right, so I'll be explaining what my entry is going to be and what my entry is going to look like. So real quick, once let's use the drawing tool again. So we wait for price to retrace, something like this. All right, so we wait for price to retrace, and let's say, okay, price retraced, and price keeps on going back down. So let's say at one point, price retraces back and comes back into this supply demand zone, this order block zone. What do we do, guys? Like I said, we don't just blindly take a trade because price retraced back to this supply demand zone. We are obviously going to be looking for a valid setup entry. All right, our reason for entry, confluence to get us into this trade. All right, so let's assume that, okay, this whole setup is happening on the 30-minute time frame or the 1 hour time frame, the 30 or the 1H time frame. Let's just say that you go up to the 30-minute time frame. Like, okay, if you're wondering what time frame do you want to, like, do you think is valid to spot an order block? Personally, there's no good or right, good or wrong. There's no right or wrong way to find supply demand zone in the market. All I would say is just have a maximum of 2 time frames you're looking at to get your supply demand zone. Like for me personally, I look out for the 30-minute time frame and the 1 hour time frame to look for my supply demand zone. So let's just assume that, okay, this setup is on the 30-minute time frame. All right, what you want to do now is, once you spot your bullish order block, and you spotted your demand zone to the upside or your supply zone, and you waited for price to retrace back. All this is happening on the 30-minute time frame. Like, assume that is my time frame that I'm looking to get my area of interest. So price retrace back to my area of interest, which is this order block zone here. What you want to do now is, for your entry, you want to go down to let's say the entry, you want to go down to the 3 minutes, the 5 minutes, or the 1 minute time frame. I know this is not in order, so like the 1 minute, the 3 minute, and the 5 minute time frame. So this is where you'll be looking to take your entry. This is where you'll be looking to take your entry. So what time frame do I prefer to take my entry? It doesn't matter, guys. I look to take my entry. I look to take my entry on the 3 minute time frame, on the 5 minute time frame, even on the 1 minute time frame. I'm looking to take my entries on any one of the time frame I see a valid setup in. So let's just go and let's check out what this entry should look like on the 1 minute, 3 minute, or the 5 minute time frame. Like, what is my entry trigger? So real quick, let me bring out my drawing tool again. So this is the 30-minute time frame, right? So now we're down to the 3 minutes or the 1 minute or the 5 minute time frame. But preferably, guys, I prefer to take on the 1 minute time frame, because if you notice, most of my videos are about 1 minute time frame, because I love trading on the 1 minute time frame. So let's just say, okay, now this is the retracement back to that order block zone, and let's just say this is the 30 minutes time frame, the 3 minute time frame, sorry, or the 1 minute time frame, or the 5 minute time frame. So this is that order block, because definitely on the lower time frame it's going to be a little bit big. It's going to be a lot bigger than what it looks like on the 30-minute time frame. So let's just say, okay, price retraces back to that order block zone. So let's assume that this is that retracement, so this is that retracement back to the order block zone. So what I want you guys to look out for is, you could just like wait for price to let's say price comes back into the order block zone, then you wait for price to retrace. All right, so let me show you guys what the entry should look like. All right, so price should retrace, give us a swing high. So let's assume that price went up like this. All right, something like this. So guys, look at this. When I see an entry, like when I see this kind of movement to the upside, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be looking to take my trade now. All right, I'll be looking to take my trade now. And you might be wondering, like, this is like, why do I want to take my trade? And the answer is because I'm looking for the best confluence to take a trade. Alright, so guys, what is my reason for taking this trade? And it's just simply, you know, price, you know, retraced. I wouldn't want this candlestick like this one to engulf. Right, I know I have other strategies explaining, okay, you want to see an engulfing candlestick, but for this example, you want to see price, you know, you want to see price retrace but not engulf this, the last candlestick that formed before this bullish candlestick to the upside. This first bullish candlestick should not engulf this candlestick. All right, it should just, you know, at least it should have a decent sized body like this, and definitely we want to see the next candlestick engulf. You know, we want to see the next candlestick engulf. So this next candlestick clearly, you know, took out this highs, you know, and engulfed. So clearly I'll be looking to take my trade just right about here. So I'll be looking to take my trade there. My stop loss, you know, slightly below this swing low, this low. And my TP probably for a 1 to 1.5, a 1 to 2. Guys, it depends, guys. Your take profit all depends on what you want. And you know, most likely, you know, price, guys, this is not a guarantee in the market. You know, price, you could end up losing this trade, you could end up winning this trade. That is why I always suggest and encourage my students to always have their stop loss set, have proper risk management, and learn to call their losses when the time is right. So I will show you guys a real life example, like a real trade example on the chart. So let's get straight into the chart. Alright, so one thing I want to make clear is for this strategy, like one thing I've noticed when I back tested this strategy, and I realized that, okay, if this setup shows up once, like for the first time, and you take it, and let's say you take this trade for like this setup shows up for the first time and you take it and you lose, then I am most likely going to take the second one. All right, I have a 2 entry max per order block zone. Like if I take 2 trades and I lose, then I'm done. Like it's done. So I'm not gonna sit down here and pretend like it works every time. This is just the basics of this strategy. So I'll be making a part 2 very soon, maybe next week, explaining the main setup, like the main entry. Like this is my first entry. I have multiple entries I use for my order block and supply demand zone, but this is just the first entry. Where, so like I said, when I set this trade for the first time and I take it, if I lose, I have to take another entry, which is 2 entry max per order block zone. So let's just go straight into the chart and let me quickly find a setup. Alright guys, so I found this order block here, so let's use this one real quick. So let's go down to something like the 5-minute time frame and look for an entry. So obviously you can tell that there's no entry here. Let's look down on the 3-minute time frame. Alright, there's no entry here. So let's go down to the 1-minute time frame, which is my preferred time frame for my entries, because obviously on the 1-minute time frame you can tell that, you know, things are going to go down really fast, and you know, you could make more profits. So let me see. Okay, yeah, there's an entry on the 1-minute time frame, so let me just get through it real quick. So as you can clearly see, you know, price came back, retraced back into that order block zone we marked out on the 30-minute time frame, and price gave us this 1-2 candlestick move to the upside. Let's say you took this trade here. I want to make this video very transparent, like this is no BS right now, like very transparent. I want you guys to see what's going to happen. So you took this trade here, your stop loss, you know, slightly below here, and you can see this trade went for a 0.7 to 1. So it depends on where you want to move your stop loss to break even, nice if you want to. But you can see, like on the right sense, if you're taking 1 to 2 risk to reward, then this trade actually ended up being a losing trade. But if you're moving your stop loss to break even at, let's say, like 0.5 or 0.7, then this is a break even trade for you. So let's just say, okay, we lost this trade. Okay, let's just say we lost this trade, and now we're looking for our second entry. This one engulfed this kind of stick, so it's not valid. So yeah, this is a valid setup because price gave us this 1-2 kind of stick move to the downside and 1 candlestick. This candlestick did not engulf this candlestick, then followed by another candlestick. So we're going to take a trade here. And I forgot to mention, guys, this candlestick, this second candlestick can engulf this candlestick. It's still a valid setup, but even if this candlestick does not engulf this this candlestick, then it's still a valid setup. All right, it's still a valid setup. So that's one thing I want to point out and make clear to you guys. So you can see that this trade went, you know, bonkers. It went crazy. So it went for like a 5.61 to 1, which is very, very, very decent, you know, take profit when it comes to trading. So guys, you know, observe proper risk management, you know, use proper risk management, go back test, and make sure that you feel comfortable taking this strategy. Like, this is just, you know, my supply demand strategy, but I'll be making more videos. Like, guys, there's a lot of ways. I guess there's 1,001 ways to trade supply and demand, but this is just my own style of trading supply and demand. I have like 10 more ways of trading supply and demand. So I'll be bringing out those videos like gently and showing you guys, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys with so many strategies. All right, so gradually I'll be bringing out the strategies and showing you guys. So this is just the number one strategy I use when it comes to trading supply and demand in the markets. So guys, if you want to join the VIP mentorship, the VIP signal group and the mentorship, feel free to DM me on Instagram and I will set you out now. I will add you up to the group. And guys, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and yeah, see you.